Do you know what is a mock drill or emergency drill? What is the purpose of mock drill? Mock drill or emergency drills provide virtually the only means, short of an actual incident, of measuring the state of readiness and of testing the effectiveness of an emergency response plan. Today, I'm going to discuss the aims and objectives of a mock drill and what is the emergency evacuation procedure. You are on the platform of Safety First, and I'm your host, Javed. If you are new on this channel, kindly subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. If you find the video informative, then like, comment, and share with your friends. As I discussed, the purpose of mock drill or emergency drill is to check the readiness and the effectiveness of emergency response plan. Dear friends and fellows, let us discuss here what are the emergency scenarios where you require to evacuate your building or premises. It might be a fire, a medical emergency, a gas leak or spillage, a bomb threat, intruder, or a neighboring property emergency. Real emergencies are real, but why to carry out mock drill? Why to waste the time for mock drill? And why to engage our staff and workforce in carrying out emergency drills? This is the question. Let us find the secrets behind the mock drill. Number one, to evaluate response. Number two, to improve coordination within the departments. Number three, to identify the efficacy of SOPs, standard operating procedures. And number four, to enhance the ability to respond faster. So now it's clear to you that there are some specific aims and objectives behind a mock drill. It is not a waste of time. It has a significant importance if we consider, if we have to make preparation for the real incidents, real emergency scenarios. Let us discuss here the circumstantial assumptions, high level of tension and anxiety, highly unreliable information requiring critical assessment, criticality of time for taking decision, and necessity of coordination among technical and administrative personnel. If we will not go through the mock drills, we will not be able to understand all these factors. This is a series of events, and you cannot get the desired result if you will make a shortcut, bypass, or overlook any of these factors. It is only the mock drill or emergency drill that help us to identify planning gaps, to revise SOPs for enhanced coordination, to increase emergency preparedness of staff members and the workforce, and to evaluate readiness of all fire safety arrangements in any incident, in any exercise, in any drill. Priorities matter. Dear friends and fellows, we are going to discuss here the evacuation priorities. First priority is protection of life. Second priority is prevent spreading of hazard. Third priority is save assets in the affected area. And fourth priority is to eliminate the hazard. Do you think it is possible without any organizational or management tool? Definitely not. Let us discuss here the emergency control organization. Few key positions and their roles and responsibilities. To control an emergency, there is a requirement of emergency coordinator, chief security officer, fire officer, security officers, first aid personnel, firemen, fire warden, security guards, and rescue team members. All these personnel, staff, and the workforce, they should be aware of their roles and responsibilities in advance as per the emergency evacuation plan and as per the emergency evacuation procedure. Without understanding, without knowledge and skills, and without clear cut understandings of rules and responsibilities, it is not feasible, it is not practicable to understand and to deal with the emergency like fire or a medical emergency if we are not prepared for such scenarios and we don't have any awareness, knowledge, and skills to deal with. As I told you, organization is a very important tool for any business, especially in an emergency situation. But the organization of emergency team depends upon the nature of workplace, the number of people involved in the workplace. This is an open site or this is a building. This is a residential place or this is electrical or a mechanical workshop. This is a plant or this is an oil and gas installation. If we will simply take a building with one or two floors, so in a floor there is a floor warden. There must be deputy floor warden, maybe one or two numbers as per the size of the building and as per the number of occupants. Accordingly, 5 team members followed by rescue team members. Let us discuss in short precisely the duties of floor warden. The floor warden should be familiar with fire alarm, emergency warning system, entry and exit points, emergency staircase, alternative escape routes, complete layout of floor and emergency evacuation plan, operation of access control doors, location of fire extinguishers and other firefighting equipment on the floor, names and mobile numbers of all staff members on the floor, details about mobility impaired persons on the floor. On being informed about the fire, contact the control room. It is the duty of floor wardens to assess situation with the firefighting party and inform the control room. Inform the floor above and below. Help firefighting party in extinguishing fire if it is in initial stage. Start process of evacuation as per instructions of control room. Ask the occupants to go to desired staircase and proceed to the ground floor assembly area. If it is not possible to go to the ground floor, then they have to go to the refuge area on any of the floor which is allocated in the emergency evacuation plan. Get the floor checked with the help of rescue team. Assist needy. Assist visitors if someone is there in the building. Check toilets, storerooms, conference rooms, etc. Salvage important documents if possible. Move to assembly area or emergency muster point. Give correct parade state, a head count to ensure that everybody is accounted for. And this all shall be done by the floor warden. Dear friends and fellows, you are watching Safety First. Today we are discussing about the purpose of mock drill and what is the emergency evacuation procedure. The order in which people should be evacuated is: number 1, movable people capable of evacuating themselves. The people, those are mentally and physically fit to evacuate, and this will be first group evacuation. Number 2, people that can be evacuated with little assistance. Second group evacuated. Number 3, people that are totally dependent on assistance. Third group evacuated. Remember, I'm discussing the order in which people should be evacuated. The reason for this order is to evacuate the maximum number of people as quickly as possible. In the event of a fire-related emergency, staff should: number 1, rescue any person in immediate danger only if safe to do so. This is number 1 step. Step number 2, close the door and leave the area. Step number 3, call the fire brigade and rescue services on the number that is provided in the emergency evacuation plan in the event of fire-related emergency. Step number 4, attack fire if safe to do so and if you are trained and competent to extinguish the fire. Step number 5, evacuate to assembly point. And step number 6, remain at assembly point and ensure everybody is accounted for. Dear friends and fellows, to ensure the welfare of people with disabilities during evacuations, take medication and medical instructions with you. If confronted with smoke, crawl low to the ground. Close doors quickly when exiting rooms to prevent smoke to travel around. And if your clothing catches on fire, stop, drop, and roll. You have to keep some key points in your mind while evacuating the building in the case if there is a fire incident. Don't use the lift. You have to use the stairs. You have to go through the emergency exits only. If you are on stairs, move in single file. Keep on either side. Don't overtake. And always ready to help the needy. Dear friends and fellows, do you think all these steps shall be taken automatically? Certainly not. Floor warden, emergency coordinator, they will conduct mock drills. They will brief the staff members and the workforce, rescue team and fire warden about their responsibilities and roles during the emergency scenarios. They will also tell them what you have to do and what you will never do in the case of any emergency, where the evacuation from the premises or the building is the only way to save lives. In the event of a fire, a member of staff or workers will activate the fire alarm. Anyone else will hear the alarm bells ring 3 times. What he or she will do? They will leave the area immediately. They will evacuate the building or the premises without any further delay. Evacuation must be in a calm and orderly manner. You will not run for your belongings. You have to leave all the personal belongings wherever they are. Here, the most important matter is your own life and the life of others. Those sitting by the windows will make sure these are closed before leaving the room, before leaving the office. Fire is possible anywhere, in the hospital, in a work site, in a plant, in an oil and gas installation, or in the school. If the emergency event is in the school and there is fire, the students will line up and walk quickly to the assembly point, led by their teachers. The students are expected to follow any instructions given to them by their staff, their teachers, and their administrators. Remember, No running is to be permitted because it can cause confusion and it can create panic. You have to stay calm and you have to evacuate the building immediately. Any student, boy or girl, who is not in the class when the fire alarm sounds, he or she must go to the assembly point immediately. He or she will not rush towards the classroom. At that time, the most suitable place is the emergency muster point. On the emergency muster point, a roll call should be conducted, and the teacher will check the students against the register and report to the senior member of staff that the students and staff all are accounted for. In the case of a workplace, emergency coordinator will initiate buddy check system, roll call, and head count as per the approved emergency evacuation plan and procedure, as urgent as reasonably practicable. During the head count, if someone is missing, it is the responsibility of emergency coordinator to send rescue team and try his best for the safe retrieval of the person who is still in the building. Dear friends and fellows, in the emergency, once you are on the muster point, you are on the emergency assembly area. Staff, workers, or the students will wait at the assembly point until told by the fire officer that it is safe to re-enter the building and the all clear is given. On no account re-enter the building until the all clear is given. The safety of the students in the school, college, or university, and the safety of the workers in a construction site or in a plant is paramount, and any instructions given by the fire service, fire officer should be acted upon immediately. You have to remember 100%, under no circumstances should anyone re-enter the building once it is evacuated, unless and until you will not get all clear signal or information from the emergency coordinator. Dear friends and fellows, let us discuss here the most important person to deal with the emergency is emergency coordinator. What are his or her responsibilities? The person in charge should ensure, number one, the fire brigade has been called. Number two, an orderly flow of people from the premises or the building or from the workplace. Number three, the evacuation pack is taken when you go where relevant. Number four, that all rooms have been checked. Number five, a reasonable person is left with people at the assembly point. Number six, nobody re-enters the building until advised by the fire brigade that it is safe to do so. Remember, any person's behavior and response to an emergency situation can be difficult to predict. That's why it is important to practice by conducting evacuation drills. Each workplace has an evacuation plan and an emergency assembly point. Make sure you know your local arrangements or check with your manager if you are unsure. Dear friends and fellows, as you know, safety begins with a teamwork. So, in an emergency situation, in an emergency team, there are different people. They have better coordination and communication. They have different roles and responsibilities. And definitely, they all are not together in one room or at a floor or in one building. Their contact numbers should be available on all prominent locations, on all entry points. Safety bulletin board guard rooms, security rooms, and in the control rooms. The emergency contact numbers might be the number of chief security officer, project manager, construction manager, HSC manager, control room, numbers of emergency service providers, contact numbers of emergency response team, chief fire warden, numbers of fire warden team members, numbers of first aiders and ambulance vehicle driver, and the number of main gate security office. As I told you, emergencies are possible anywhere, anytime, in the day or at midnight. But if we are prepared, if we are going through the emergency mock drills, it means we are preparing for war in the peacetime. We are going to evaluate our readiness. We are trying to understand our failures, gaps, and mismanagement. Once we are aware of our readiness, we are aware of our weaknesses, we can easily control, we can easily make a more feasible, practical, and a workable operational plan to deal with such emergency scenarios. If you will take a fire emergency or a medical emergency or a gas leak emergency as only a drill, you will not show your interest, you will not participate with full rhythm and enthusiasm. It means you are not preparing yourself for the worst conditions. Ultimately and definitely, you will face more losses in the case of real emergency in your building, in your project, or in your premises. This is up to you how ready and prepared you are to deal with an emergency situation. And that's all for today. Training session is over now. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, and share the video with your friends and colleagues. Hope to see you soon with a new HSC tutorial. Till then, take care. Very good luck and Allah Hafiz.